Today, we're going to talk about some of the bad habits that you should stop right now in order to get better in Call of Duty Mobile. There are definitely some interesting things in the list, with number 5 not being talked about much in the gaming scene. Not only that, we're also going to discuss on how we can correct these mistakes and elevate our level of gameplay. The simple and the most mundane things actually have the biggest impact in our game, so make sure to listen up. If you're a new viewer, relax and enjoy. And if you're a returning viewer, you already know what to do. Tap the like button so we can reach today's goal of 2,500 likes. This actually helps the channel a lot and lets me know to make more of this type of content. We're going over 7 huge tips, with all of them having some degree of importance. Let's get into the first one. If you're getting ready to finally push for legendary ranked, grinding out some points, or you want to make sure to have a good game in your team scrims, not warming up is one of the worst things you could do or not do. Not doing so can cause you to play bad in your opening games, and that might get you frustrated and blame the bad things that might happen on things like your aim, your sensitivity, or anything really. After a long day of work or sleeping all day, your hands sure could use some warming up, and no, it's not what you're thinking. I'm talking about taking a few minutes before you even play intense games against ranked sweats or competitive teams. Olympic players, NBA athletes, hell even singers do warm up. This allows us to get our fingers going, relearn the mechanics after doing something else with our hands for the rest of the day. I made a video covering a simple warm up you can do to improve your aim and loosen up before you go on and play ranked or scrims. I suggest you warm up in pubs before you hop on into ranked. Then if you're about to play in a scrim or tournament, warming up in ranked is a good idea as well. Get your confidence in terms of your mechanics and get your aim and movement on point. One thing I keep noticing that most players do, something that I make a mistake of doing as well, is looking down while running around the map. This is one of the things that you need to stop doing ASAP, because all it does is actually increase your reaction time, meaning you'll have a slow reaction to your surroundings, especially with COD Mobile being a fast-paced game. Keep in mind that most of the time, players are standing up and assume they are already aiming at you. How are you going to react quickly if you're looking down? You simply can't. You will lose the gunfight 9 times out of 10, especially if you're playing against good players. So to avoid this, remember to always keep your crosshair up to chest level. 1. This allows us to have a clear view of the map and the enemies, and 2. This allows us to have a faster reaction time compared to when we're looking down. This immediately gives us the advantage before a gunfight even begins. Not only our reactions get faster, they also get a lot simpler. Instead of swiping diagonally, we just have to swipe left or right whenever we see an enemy that are at the same level as we are. Remember, look up and keep moving forward. One of the most valuable pieces of information in the game, the minimap, is also one of the things that's most overlooked in my opinion. Looking at the minimap can help us identify where the enemies are located when they fire, so we know how and where to anticipate enemies from. It also gives us our teammates' location, giving us the info of where to go to fill in the lanes of the map. With this information, you can support your team in more ways than one. You can do so by finding a buddy within your team and make entry for them, or let them make entry for you. Another thing you could do is flank the enemy team while most of your teammates push a certain area. Develop the habit of taking a glance at the minimap once in a while, kinda like the side view mirrors whenever you drive a car, to give yourself more info while you're going around. Make sure that the position of your minimap is at an area where it's comfortable to look at so you can glance at it easily, and make sure it doesn't obstruct your view. You know what they say, big things come in small, or in this situation, mini packages. Just because you want to go for high kill games doesn't mean you should ignore the objectives completely. If you want to help your team win, you can slay around the OBJ in order to give your team the opportunity to push and control the other parts of the map. Having awareness of the objectives makes you a very effective player, and that's what we're trying to achieve at the end of the day. Don't be so reluctant in doing the dirty work. Those are the things that win games. You don't want to waste your 30+ kill games just to lose, right? So, help your team get the OBJ. Do it directly by stepping on the objective, planting the bomb, while holding your own. Or, you can do it indirectly, making it your job to never let the enemy team reach the objectives, or providing backup from a different direction so your team can finish the job. Not only that, you can gain more points for more score streaks, and make sure you get the top frag every game without even using hardline. Remember that teamwork makes the dream work. Like I mentioned on the intro, this isn't much talked about because most of the time, we're all about that grind and we forget to take care of ourselves. Playing hungry or tired actually makes us play bad. Make sure you have eaten before you even think of playing the game. Maybe after a long day of school or work, you're tired and decide to hop on to play COD Mobile and you're not really having the best games or performance. I think just taking some rest will be healthier for you and your gameplay in the long run. Having a healthy mind and body will only benefit us in our gameplay. I have no problem with the grind. I definitely respect those people who put in hours of work to become pros, but remember that health comes first. Hunger and fatigue causes our decision making and mechanics to be impaired, resulting into bad gameplay whether you like it or not. If you're planning to have a long session today, make sure you have eaten or you're well rested. I care for you, so take care of yourself. Remember those times where you got wrecked by some player and you went out seeking revenge and in the process you end up dying again and again and again? Congratulations, you just fed the enemy team. More often than not, those players know what they're doing and they can hold that area by themselves. Their teammates can also back them up once you go and seek revenge, so you're gonna put yourself in a losing situation whenever you go back and try to get that revenge kill against them. So if you ever get wrecked, try not to go in the same area where you died. If possible, try to go around and attack them from another angle. Chances are they will still be looking at the same direction where they killed you, so try to find a way to surprise them and finally get your sweet revenge kill. Call of Duty is a game within a game within a game. It's kinda like the old Pokemon games, but at a much faster pace. A match is a game, and the gunfights within the match and the strategies within the rotations is another layer as well. Make sure you focus up and learn from mistakes when it comes to decisions you make inside the game. Here's a clip of me versus an NA45 user. Another mistake you should stop doing is running around corners. As I covered in my previous video, desync will always be present in the game and you should be aware of that at all time. If you ran around the corner and someone's pre-aimed at that spot, the moment you show up in his screen, he's going to fire at you. And before you even get to cover, you're already dead, because it takes some time for the animation to finish and register onto the server. So I'm gonna give you some things you can do to avoid being caught. We're only taking advantage of what's called the peeker's advantage. First thing you can do is slide peek. Second is jump peek, jiggle peek, or peek quickly by showing yourself just a bit, then running back to cover in order to bait the enemy into shooting you, just so we can check if there's someone pre-aiming that corner. You may or may not notice committing these mistakes, and it's actually important we look into these things if you want to get better. A bonus tip is to record your own gameplay and watch yourself and notice if there are mistakes you repeat often and make that your priority to correct. Having self-awareness is a great thing to have as a player in order to steer yourself in becoming a great player. That's it for today's video. If you learned anything, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like. Remember that today's goal is 2,500 likes, so make sure you tap that before leaving. For today's question, I want to know, what's your favorite number? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.